Tell you what's on. The political season is on, and like I told you since the beginning, today on the show I'm speaking to one of Flagbearer hopefuls of the opposition National Democratic Congress. And I asked you whether or not you remember the mayor of Kumasi who was forced to resign. Bonsu, that's the man. He's here in the studio with me. He wants to be president, and we want to find out from him why he thinks that you deserve, or that he deserves your attention, and if you are a voter, you're a delegate, why he thinks he deserves your vote. Mr. Bonsu, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me on your sets.
How is it going, the campaign?
Fantastic, super.
Give us some details.
What kind of details do you want?
Any.
Oh, no, I just had a media encounter yesterday, and I told them things that I would want the party to do. And also, I shared my vision in my small manifesto. That is something just to whip your taste as the campaign goes on.
Is it in a green book, your manifesto?
It's not a green book.
It's not in a green book.
No, it's not.
What color is it?
I think I gave your people a copy. I mean, it's definitely NDC colors. So you want to go back to green book, huh?
Very well. So you've already put together your manifesto, and we'll talk about that but momentarily. But you said you've been talking to media people about your vision.
That's true.
And you've mentioned a couple of things that I'd like to engage you on. But first of all, what do you want to be president? You want to be the flag bearer of the party. What is there on your political profile to prove your capability, your ability to fit in this position that you're seeking?
One, I've worked in public office as the mayor of Kumasi. Now, if you look at the world round, people, mostly mayors, would tend to become presidents because mayors go through the problems of dealing with people and running cities. So if you run a city, you can run a country.
If you run a city, you can run a country.
Definitely, if you make the effort.
Does it not depend on how you run the city and what is it you did, your legacy? What is the legacy you think you left in Kumasi?
Have you done your research, my dear?
Help me out, sir.
A lot of things. The Kumasi KJT Central Market has been rebuilt. The Swansea Market has been rebuilt. Tafu Market has been rebuilt. And Atonsu. And the popular Ratri Park. These are, and even the new one that is going to come out soon, which has been redesigned. Modern
things that you've mentioned are enough to put you in the position of a president.
That is not enough. Okay. But I have other things. I was the MD of Goil for some short time, but I rebranded the industry. Now Goil is chalking success out of that. And I have too many things as an entrepreneur, as a businessman. I was the first person that was able to sign a contract for Ghana soccer team, all the soccer teams to wear an Adidas equipment. I mean, it's a lot in store. I've done a lot that warrants me to go.
And people who are listening to you will leave that to them to be the judge, because they are the ones, certainly. And also I believe that you're going to put this in you have put this in your manifesto, which we'll talk about momentarily. But you've spoken about a total overhaul of the national executive, for example. In some of your, there are news reports that you said that the NDC requires an overhaul. I am using that as a premise to come to my question, which is, let me correct it. You want to correct it?
I said there was tsunami in the party. If you look at the way our branch election went, the way our constituency election went, and regional elections, then the national elections coming. Okay. It's like a lot of change came in. I'm not saying it's a tsunami because people are clamoring for change, want new people to come and run affairs. Okay. So I didn't say they should change. It's the delegates who can make decisions. I don't make decisions.
But do you wish that there will be a total overhaul within the
whatever
executive
the delegate
at the moment?
says, I go for it.
What do you want? You want to be, you're a leader. What do you want? What's your perspective?
My perspective is, if the delegate says they don't want you, okay, and they want somebody, I go with what the delegate
If you were to advise the delegate, what would you advise them to do?
I wouldn't tell them anything. They have to use their conscience, and they have to make sure that they're doing something good for the party.
Do you think that the national executive of the NDC at the moment is good enough to lead you, the NDC, into the 2020 elections and to give you victory?
Nope.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, because
Why?
they failed us in our last election.
Okay.
But I keep saying the delegates.
Must
it's
decide.
the delegates who decide.
Are there specific people in charge who you think failed the party?
I'm not here to run names, but still the delegates will tell us these people didn't perform.
All of them?
No, not all of them. But when the delegates decide, we take it. It's final.
Like Johnson Asiedu Ketia.
I don't want to compare. I don't want to make hint names. But it's the delegates. They are the people who are going to vote. Let them vote and say, we don't want you. We don't want A. We don't want B.
Speaking of people who have failed the party, you were in government at the time that the party was governing.
I had resigned.
But before you resigned, you were part of the government.
That's
before
right.
you resigned. So
right.
So you can't completely take yourself out. Do you consider yourself being a part of the group that failed the party?
I wouldn't say so.
Why not?
Because, one, I wasn't in the party hierarchy. I didn't take any position in the party. So it's very difficult to go and give instructions and tell people what to do. I was just like a passive member.
So let me find out from you again. You say that you did not take any specific position, but you were mayor of Kumasi.
Yeah, I'm talking about after that.
But it was about 8 years. So if we take the entire 8 years, you were at some point a part of government.
Definitely.
So would you say you still maintain that you're not a part of the group that failed the party by giving you an electoral misfortune?
Are you saying the group that failed government or the group that failed the party?
Failed the party in the elections.
Distinction.
Yeah, there is, but the government cannot necessarily take itself away from the party. It's the party that is governing at any given time.
Great.
You were part of the group that was governing at a point, and I'm asking whether you consider yourself as part of the group that failed the party because the party lost the election.
I didn't have any position. Period. That is it. You see, I didn't have any position in the party. You see, we have executives, and because of democracy, they run the affairs of the party. You can only advise. But if it's not accepted...
Did you advise, and was it rejected?
Oh, plenty. But I'm not here to come and castigate and talk about...
Yeah, because I've told my viewers that I'm going to give Mr. Bonsu the opportunity to tell them why you deserve their attention. So I'm asking all these questions.
There are a lot of ways that I can tell the people so that they can get my attention.
Right, but I'm asking the questions now, so I'm doing it my way. You give me your answers as you wish.
Yeah, but the questions you're asking, it's like you just want to apportion blame.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm asking the questions, and you just give our viewers the answers. Okay. So, again, I'm asking this because people we've spoken to, you will say, well, for example, you're saying that there's a tsunami. So you're saying that it looks like people want change. People want change. They want change from people that they believe that they are people who have clean slates. Do you consider yourself as those people who come to the competition with a clean slate, for which reason people should choose you over all the others?
No. I'm coming into the fray to become a president or the leader of the party or the flag bearer, because there are certain things in the party. If you read my speech yesterday, I'm talking about certain things that we lost touch with, things that we didn't do that created a problem for us to lose the elections. Those are the things that I want to come and repair. Okay. And if they see me as somebody who can do it, they should vote for me to become a flag bearer. That is all I'm saying. Okay.
There were issues about Rajpuri Park, for example, after you left. There were issues about how the cost of the project and things like that. Do you want to clarify a few things for us from there?
I really want. I think today I've said it on a lot of radio stations. I was just at Asempa. Let me tell you something. when projects is being done, when people want to do a project, you have to do what you call an estimated budget. We budgeted $4.4 million US for the Rotary Park project. Now, there's difference between the actuals and budget.
Okay.
That is what people have always gotten wrong. And KMA, let me correct this fact, that KMA never had this $4.4 million sitting down to go and do the project. The monies were sourced from different fund agencies like the World Bank, UDG, and all places. Okay. So we never got, hey, bam. But the actual cost spent before I left office for the project was about 5.6 million Ghana cedis. Now, at that time, if you do the equivalent in dollars, it was about $1.2 million. So there's difference between budget and actual expense.
Okay.
So people got it all wrong, and everybody, oh, 4.1 would be 4.4 million cedis. That is not true. Go to KME, it's a public office, this information is there. So if you budget for a program and you don't use that money, you still haven't spent the money. You look at the actuals, don't you?
Right.
So the actuals is what we have spent. Okay. And I can assure you that if you go to KME to do your own research and find out, this 5.6 million that was utilized to build the park has been recouped already.
It's been recouped?
Already.
So the Assembly has made
yes, profits? We have paid the money, profits paid the money. In less than 2-3 years, the money has been paid.
The issue about, there was an issue about how the place functions, that there was supposed to be a pen drive or something that controls what's the fountain.
The water fountain, yes.
What happened to it? I mean, and how
let me tell you something. I've left government. Number two, my government, if my government was in power, I could have gone and given advice, right? All the information, everything is there. It was a deliberate thing to collapse the park.
You think there was a deliberate attempt to collapse the park?
So.
By who?
That is my personal thinking.
By who?
By those who know the one. Because how could a pen drive get missing to create a whole lot of problem, to stop the functioning of something that brings you serious revenue? Wouldn't you push to find out where it was gone? Recently, I heard through the grapevine that, oh, they found it. Let me tell you something. I left office. People were trained to go to run the place. Because I left office, they thought I brought them. They're all Ghanaians, and they were all sacked. So obviously, and nobody, even if you want to sack them, you should have allowed them to train the people to do it. Nothing like that was done, so the place is being run down. Isn't it sad?
Which is
it's my baby, and I feel very sad. But because you're not in government, you cannot pose yourself into it. You cannot go there and give it instructions. Okay. How sad.
Okay, my final question before I get into the deep politics, and I'm looking at the time as well, was during your time at the KMA, you had issues that ended up in your resignation. There were chiefs at Menchia who advised, actually demanded for the president to sack you. Based on that record, do you think that you will still be a perfect fit for the job you're seeking?
Why not? Let me tell you, governance and tradition is a very difficult thing to do, because in governance you're very accountable. If you lose $1, if you lose a penny, you can be sacked. You have to be very strict and go according to the book. Let me give you an example. Let's say somebody goes to build in waterways. And if the person builds a house in a waterway, definitely, if you want to be accountable in government, you don't want flooding, and it will create problems for you. So that one too, you can be sacked. Okay. So if you are very firm, in Ghana, you're very firm, you do your things with strictness, they'll tell you that you are not respectful, you are disrespectful.
You think that's what happened?
Yes, let me give you the background. So people were doing that. Anytime they come, I say, no, this work won't be done. But because our system has a lot of interfamily relations, your mother, sister's daughter, building, you know, but it's a job you are carrying. So always, I want to be very firm. Whether you're my cousin, you're my auntie, you build in a waterway, I'll demolish it.
So they pushed for your resignation because you were trying to do the right thing, you say?
That's right. But it is always a duty to also understand tradition and governance so that you'll be able to wait.
Okay.
It's a learning curve. I have learned a lot from that. I respect the chiefs. They are my people. In Chi, we say, Mesum Sikeja. So I wouldn't mess around with a golden stool. It's something that is dear to my heart. Okay. And I'm a royal. So why would I mess up from somewhere that you come from? Okay. That is because I'm firm, very diligent. They think, hey, but that is not.
That was not what
I'm
happened.
Very humble.
Okay, two things I'm going to talk about: your manifesto and who you're contesting. You're contesting John Mahama. John Mahama wants to be flag bearer. You want to be flag bearer. In fact, I spoke to Dr. Ekospio Gabra, who actually said that, well, people who are organizing the unity walks are doing so because they want to give John Mahama an undue advantage over the others. You were at the forefront of the organization of the unity walk, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me correct an erroneous impression that people had. The walk was not meant for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. It was meant for the party people. But he has been an ex-president. Normally, you will go for an event, and if an ex-president comes, a lot of people follow him there. I spoke to a lot of the aspirants that, hey, take advantage of it. But they didn't mind me. President Mahama took advantage of it. But this event was for the party.
In what capacity did you organize this event for the party?
As a nobody in the party. But because I realized that after the 2016 stunning defeat, it was a problem. The party was disintegrating. The party was collapsing.
So you took it upon yourself to organize the unity walks?
That's right.
With your own money?
It is not my own money, but what we do is we use people in the regions to contribute to organize it. I mean, a gentleman, Joshua Kamba, was always with me. We did it together.
So you organized this unity walk, and you're saying that you had to give a place to the former president because he had been
not him alone. It was open for all the former.
But they decided not to take.
They decided not to because they think the former president had taken the lead. At
this time, did you have your ambitions of becoming a flag bearer?
No, it was because, you see, my ambitions was not something that I had. But going round, you know, the call came from the people I was dealing with.
It's the same thing John Mahama says.
Then let's see.
Do you agree?
The delegates will decide.
Do you agree with those who say that you have betrayed John Mahama? John Mahama took you under his wings, and he put you there at the KMA. He was your boss, which is perhaps why a lot of people saw the unity walk as something being orchestrated by the John Mahama camp, which of course was spearheaded by you. That you have betrayed the former president by contesting him for the same position that he wants.
Let me tell you something. I have the greatest respect and a high level of respect for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I have chalked successes with him. But the issue is, it is purely democracy and the future of the party.
Okay.
Our party was collapsing after the 2016 election. This is nothing against His Excellency Dramani or any individual. It's purely democratic. What do you understand by democracy? It's to strengthen our party, to make sure that one position is not for an individual. Anybody can contest. It is the delegates who will decide whether you are qualified and you'll be able to do it. So why don't you allow democracy to take its place?
So, at the time you were organizing the unity walk, you had no ambition.
I had no ambition.
You had no ambition.
Yes. So that is from mingling and dealing with the people. Then and through research, then I realized that
the people who actually want you to be flag bearer. Yes. Did they tell you this?
No, they tell. In fact, earlier on, people were talking of me becoming the chairman of the party. But I was being pushed by a lot of the members. But later on, some people also came that, hey, if you go for the flag bearer position, it will be fair.
Did you talk about this with the former president, who I'm sure is very close to you?
No, I didn't talk to him about it because he's a contestant.
But he's your friend. You could have a gentleman's agreement.
No, it doesn't matter. Then that means if I do that, then there's no democracy. There's no fairness.
No, you could just. You didn't have to. He doesn't have to let you stop. You just have to tell him about your.
He can tell you to stop. I mean, a friend can persuade you to stop. But okay. I'm looking at it from a democratic point of view and in fairness. Look, we are not.
And
enemies.
You didn't want him to convince or persuade you to stop.
Yes, we are not enemies. Somebody that I have greatest respect for. It's like that. But you see, it is the democracy that is established in our party now. Okay. And also the future of the party. So nobody should get it wrong by saying that I've sort of betrayed him. No. Where is democracy?
They even say you stabbed him in the back.
It's not true. I don't think we should be talking about this, because let's talk about what I have and what I'll do for the country. Which is my next step, but we need to clear this up. Because it is purely democracy.
It is purely democracy.
Yeah.
What's the relationship between you two at the moment?
Fantastic.
You still talk on the phone? You still visit each other? I haven't seen him since I declared that I want to do it. But has he given you a response? What he thinks about your intent?
No, he doesn't have to, does he?
Well, he's a friend and a member of the party. Let's talk about your manifesto. What's in this manifesto that should...
Haven't you read it?
You tell me. It's your document. It's your manifesto.
Yeah, tell me
so
what
you tell me
know.
And tell my viewers what you think are the important parts of your manifesto. And it's basically about how you think what you have there is good enough to put you ahead of all the others.
For me now is the party. The party was disintegrating. I created a unity work just to bring the party back. Now the party has become very attractive. People are even taking people to court because of position. I went to Bongo and I saw that people have gone to court, 4 different cases. Okay. Because the party has become very attractive. Now, I want people to have what you call, I'm not going to do top to bottom approach, I'm going to do bottom to top approach. Okay. Decision making should be done with the grassroots. Stipends must be paid on time. I want an NDC that respects all its members. I want an NDC that would bring people together and make decisions.
So what's your key message?
My key message is unity, or victory through unity and accountability.
Victory through unity and accountability. So what are the pillars of your manifesto?
My pillars is unity, empowerment, and accountability. That's integrity and accountability. Okay. That's the 3 main pillars of my message, my manifesto.
If you were to meet a group of delegates right this moment that we're speaking, who are bent on voting for somebody like the former president, John Mahama, what will you tell them? How will you convince them to forgo all the others, or about 10 others, and to choose you?
I'll just talk to them, good morning or good afternoon. And I just want to know whether they are happy people. So, the system is tied to say, would you want this government to come back to power? Also, yes, we want them to come. And they sing a song. 2020, we go show Nana, 2020. So you ask them that, how would you want to show Nana when there are broken promises, when the decision making is difficult and you people are not part of it? So they'll still sit there, stand and marvel and watch you. So then you take the advantage of telling them that, look, do you want somebody who would want to make sure that the decision making of the party, you are included? Do you want somebody who would let the stipends paid on time? Do you want somebody who wouldn't bring what you call mass and English party?
Mass and English party?
Yes, it's a slogan that runs through NDC. They say that that is what the grassroots say. They say that if you want power, you come to them. Especially the people in towns and cities. When you want power, you come to them, you help them, they win power. When they finish and there's a job that you want to do, they say bring your certificate.
Which is an important point that I need to bring this question in about how you're going to fund your campaign and make sure that you don't have...
It doesn't have anything to do with...
Let me land. That it doesn't have anything to do with people who are coming, that your ability to fund your way through doesn't come close to people who are helping you and at the end of the day influencing your decisions when you get into power.
I think you're trying to talk about the Elvis issue that he has brought up recently.
Which is important?
Yes, when we get there, we'll cross it. It's a national issue. It's a national issue that I think we all have to take, look at it and discuss. It's not a simple issue at all.
It's not a simple issue at all. But I believe that you're already having issues with that?
No, I don't have issues. What I've done, I have created an app. If you think the message that Bonsu is giving out is good, donate and support the campaign. So when you go to my website, kbonsu2020.org, you see everything. There's an app and everything. So you can donate for the cause.
So you're asking for donations, but that's not a guaranteed source of income.
It depends on how you sell it. It depends on how you sell it. It's something that we do. Obama did it. It has happened somewhere. So it can be replicated here.
What did John Mahama do that you think you would do differently if you became the flag bearer of the NDC?
One thing I don't like is every time we are talking about President Mahama, I don't think he's the issue.
He's not the issue, but he's a former president, and he wants to be the flag bearer. And look, President Rawlings doesn't want to be flag bearer of the NDC.
So because you see, I don't want to run any competition with that. I'm going for it.
But this is a competition, whether you like it or not.
But at least he's a competitor.
Yes.
So, but you cannot talk about him in competition. Just do whatever you think is right. Focus on your campaign and hit it. But when you bring him as an individual, you know, it's like...
In this case, in your case, it's a special case because of the perceived relationship between...
But he's not the only one. Joshua Alabi is there.
Very well. But
what's his name? Ricketts is there.
But
Kuzi Tano is there.
Very well. But two of you were in government. Two of you were in
all of them were in government.
Yes, but especially...
Be fair, come on.
No.
Be fair.
And I'm saying this, but Ecospio Gabra is a member of the party. I am not. And he was one of the persons who was complaining about the unity walk, for example. You've cleared that out. But just to explain why John Mahama keeps coming, because a lot of people, when you mention Bonsu wants to be flag bearer, that's the very first point of reference that people go to. Well, what about the support people thought he was giving John Mahama? Actually, people have said that you're doing this because you want to be running mate. Is this correct?
No, let me correct something.
Please do.
You see, in our party, the NDC, running mate is the prerogative of the president or the leader that has been chosen.
Okay.
Now, the running mate should be somebody that you have a tete-a-tete relationship, you can discuss, he would have your ear. I mean, that's how I see it.
Okay.
But if John Mahama gets the nod, it is prerogative. He will decide who he wants.
Okay.
So you cannot go and say you're running to win and go and sort of force him to give you the vice president. It's not done. No, it is not correct. It's not proper. I'm running to win. I have an ambition. And I'm serious about it.
And if you're asked to be running mate for any of them that wins, what will you do? Is that something you consider?
It's something that when we get to the bridge, we will cross.
Okay. So, final word in your manifesto, and then I'll take your brief views on the administration so far. What do you want people to remember about your manifesto?
It's about the bottom-up approach.
The bottom-up approach.
Yeah, of what I'm going to do so that the grassroots of our party and the cadres of our party would enjoy decision-making.
Okay. So he's talking about inclusion of the grassroots. This is what he says his manifesto is hinged upon. Bonsu is my guest, and we're talking about his ambition of becoming the flag bearer of the NDC. And it certainly has been interesting, especially considering the John Mahama connection. But we're moving on and talk and say I'd like to take your thoughts about the current administration and about their performance so far.
I think they have messed up. They're only about 18 months in government. The reason why they have messed up so early is the promises. There was too many promises. And it was because of promises that they got us out of power. People believed them, but now they haven't been able to perform. And I think it has given us the chance. When you bring a new face, Nana Akufo-Addo will have a lot of problems to have because the promises are not happening.
Does it require a new face?
It does. If you cannot do Mukaya ni Mukaba, they said it. If you don't perform, go so that somebody would come and do it for the country.
What's their worst performance? Which sector has recorded their worst performance, do you think? You want to talk about the economy?
I think the energy.
Okay.
Energy. Because fuel keeps going out every other week.
What would you have done differently if you were in charge?
When we get there, because I don't want to give you the notes.
You said that they won the elections because they made promises.
Yeah, but we haven't got to there. This is an internal thing now.
It is.
Let me finish my internal thing, and I'll give you everything that I'll do for this country to be very prosperous.
You just said that you meet delegates who would, for example, say
but the delegates,
times are hard.
Yeah,
they want to know what your alternative is.
No, the delegates would want to listen to you in an internal party matter. When we finish, and I'm winning, or I win, that is when I'll tell you these things that you're demanding. It is something
you don't think it's good, it's in your own interest to do so now?
It isn't, no. People will steal my ideas.
People will steal your ideas?
Yes.
But you already have your manifesto. Everybody will know that this is your idea.
The manifesto talks a little about what I want to do. That one, if they steal, I don't have a problem.
Let's talk about any good thing you think that the NPP administration has done.
Oh, I mean, it's the free SHS they've done. Let's be honest, they've done well, but they rushed into doing it. If they had done consultation and they had taken their time, it would have been the best. But they rushed.
They rushed.
Yeah.
You have any advice for the president?
The president
I mean, you've been in government before. You understand the problems and perhaps the solutions too.
They should take the day as it comes, because it's not easy to become a leader of a country. That's it? That's it.
How does that help them?
It helps them because they'll take it slowly, they'll look at it and do things better. If you don't rush, you can do things like they rush into doing the free SHS. It has created problems for them.
What are your expectations of the national elections next month?
My people are singing 2020, we go show Nana. So it might happen.
I'm actually talking about the internal elections.
You're talking about NDC internal elections. Kojo Bonsu is winning. Don't you know? Find out.
And then I believe you're talking about the 2020 elections. You say that's the song they're singing?
Yes, that's the NDC singing.
And they believe that can be done easily?
That's right. But with a new face like me, we would win. With a new face like you, you'd win.
I'd like to just give you this platform to just speak to the delegates. If you were to speak to them, I mean, just speak to the camera and speak to the delegates. Tell them what you believe they should know and what you think will change their minds if they've not made up their minds yet.
Delegates, I just want to inform you that you have a new person who would not break his promises. You have somebody who would let you be part of the decision making. You have somebody who will pay your monies or your stipends early or on time. Somebody who wouldn't bring in the, what you call it, math and English thing to the government. I'll look at you. And also somebody who appoints this DC from within the same area. Our biggest problem is they always think, let's say Kojo Bonsu is from Ofinsu. Because Kojo Bonsu lives from Ofinsu and he lives in Accra, they don't want somebody who lives in Accra who is from Ofinsu. They want an indigent of Ofinsu who lives there, who knows the issues of Ofinsu. So they don't want that kind of appointment anymore. And those are the things I'll do for you delegates. Delegates, listen to what I'm saying.
Delegates, listen to what I'm saying. It's what you mean. That was supposed to be the final thing, but then you mentioned something.
Keep on bringing new things.
Because you mentioned something about stipends getting to the grassroots. Yeah. You also indicated that in some of your media encounters that there was some sort of hoarding of money, yeah, which a couple of people have also said. Who was hoarding the money? Can we, for once, be specific and give names?
Nobody knows. I mean, I told you, in my campaign, I don't run names. I don't run names. I'm positive and straightforward.
Yeah, but we need to know where the problem is so we can solve it.
It is through the party system.
Okay.
It is through the party system.
Mr. Bonsu, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me. You have given me a tough time, but I appreciate it.
Oh dear.
I appreciate it, my dear.
It's not me. It's just about questions that are on the minds of your delegates.
You're doing your job.
I believe. Certainly.
Okay, thank you.
Certainly. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Bonsu, there is a former KMA boss, also a flag bearer hopeful. He wants to be flag bearer of the NDC. He certainly wants to be president if he's going that way. We'll see how it goes for him. We wish him all the best.